Good morning to all my friends and family, and welcome to Jim's 5 a.m. Club. Check out this sunrise. Look at the horizon there. Look at the Opera House, the magnificent Opera House, silhouetted against that burnt orange horizon. How beautiful is it? Anyway, let's go on a walk and talk. I've come in early today. I'm starting work at 6:30, so I've got time to do 2 or 3 Jim's 5 a.m. clubs, and I'm getting closer to that 1,000 vlogged target that I've set for myself. Less than 150 to go, and I need to deliver 4 a day in order to get to my target on my 61st birthday, God willing. So I'll just keep on pushing forward and seeing what more I can find to share with my friends and family. Anyway, today's book summary that I've chosen to go through and I've prepared for is entitled IWOZ. IWOZ, a very clever book title. And it's a autobiography of Steve Wozniak. And for those who are not aware, Steve Wozniak was the engineer who, through his tinkering, through his love of electronics, was able to create the first personal computer, the Apple I. And this book here is about his life and the lessons and the wisdoms of Steve Wozniak, who wasn't a businessman. He was an engineer who loved tinkering, loved playing with electronics, and basically reminds us that our home environment has a massive impact on who we become as a person. The people, our parents, our friends, our teachers, all of those people who invest in us as young children have a massive impact on who we become and what value we bring to the world. Steve Wozniak's mantra is that artists work best alone. So his call is to each and every one of us to try and work alone wherever possible, because it's through working alone and in that quiet time, in your downtime, in your lonely time, that you actually become who you're meant to be. So Steve Wozniak created the world's first desktop computer, as we said before, the Apple I, and he is the icon of engineering, and he created a service and a product that basically changed mankind. So as we said before, the first key point to come out of his book is the importance of your home environment. And he said that your home environment shapes who you are more than what you think. So parents, we need to understand that the home environment is critical for our children and the future leaders of the world. So creating an environment that enables them to grow, develop, feel special, to be able to express themselves is a gift that you're giving not only to your children, but also to all of those other people who come into contact with them throughout their lifetimes. So never underestimate the importance of raising children and bringing them into the world, and the importance of having a productive and a welcoming home environment. So just going back to Steve Wozniak and a bit about his past. His father worked for a big computer company called EDS, who were into the massive supercomputers, the mainframe computers that back in the day would fill up an entire room and use up a lot of electricity. So his father worked for EDS. They lived in LA, and his father would bring home components from work, and Steve would tinker with those components. He'd chat with his dad, and his father would explain things to Steve at a young age and enable him to understand how things fit together, how things work. He'd talk to him about other scientific breakthroughs, and Steve basically had a wonderful upbringing, especially given that he was curious and he loved electronics. So you just never know, where those discussions are going to lead that you have with your children. So it's important to have children who are curious, who ask questions, but it's also to be the sort of parent who is able to talk to them and to help them understand how the world works around them, to give them an opportunity to grow, develop, and to expand their thoughts, and to live with hope, I guess, is an important thing. So Steve says we need to embrace our childhood and to use that in a way that's going to make a difference one day. And we all have a different childhood, according to Steve Wozniak. We all have a different childhood, and we mustn't, I guess, discount it, because all the lessons that we get from our childhood are important. How lovely is this? Wow. I always love coming here, and the sun will be rising over there shortly, probably at about 6:15. We'll see if we can be around here for the sunrise. But as Steve Wozniak reminds us, all children have a different childhood, different experiences, and all of those experiences that you have as a child are going to help you as you grow up. And the next key point to come out of this book from Steve Wozniak is that if the world doesn't teach you, the world doesn't teach you well, then just teach yourself. Once again, I remember going to a seminar where Jim Rohn was talking, and Jim said that a university education will get you a pay packet, but self-education will make you special. So once again, Steve Wozniak here talks about the importance of continuing to push yourself, to educate yourself, to be curious, and to keep on expanding your horizons through education. And as a kid, what he did was he learned a programming language called Fortran, but he also went on to learn 6 other computer languages, but he did it through his own interests, through his tinkering, through his interest, I guess, and his energy level. So he just learned as much as he could on as many different topics surrounding the computing and electronics industry. And what he was doing was he was joining the dots and building his knowledge, adding the unknown to the known. So the more you learn, the more you're capable of learning, I guess, is one of the key messages from this book. And he was one of the first hackers as well. When he was at university, he hacked the university computer, which didn't make him popular amongst the establishment there. But sometimes you need to do things and be troublesome in order to grow and develop and to become and to expand, I guess. So he was an early hacker, but he kept on teaching himself, and that's the key message that comes out of his biography: to keep on teaching, to keep on learning, and to be a magnet for talent and knowledge, but also to be the emanator of that knowledge as well, to help others create contagion amongst others as well, so that they catch your thirst for knowledge and your energy level. But the last point to come out of his book is to never forget to stay true to your own values, no matter what the consequences are. And as we said before, Steve Wozniak was brilliant. He was the founder. He was one of the founding members of Apple. But he stayed true to his values. He was an engineer. He wasn't a businessman. He wasn't a person who wanted fame and fortune. All he wanted to do was to express himself, to express his engineering talents, and that's what he wanted to do, and that's what he kept on doing. So he was an engineer at heart and never wanted to go into management. He worked for Hewlett-Packard for a number of years, and believe it or not, he offered Hewlett-Packard the rights to his first prototype computer, which they turned down. Believe it or not, Hewlett-Packard turned down his offer for the rights to the first computer prototype. And the point that really touched me about Steve Wozniak was that early in the piece, what he did was he took a number of shares that he had in Apple and he offered them to his fellow employees at a very low price to help them amount a significant amount of wealth for each of them, to enable them to buy their own house. So he was very generous in his offering, and as I said, he was a man who has a tremendous reputation, and a person who's an engineer, and I guess partnered with his engineering fellows and enjoyed doing what he was doing. So I think I'll finish off there. So thank you very much for joining me on this other episode, the second episode of Jim's 5am Club, on this magnificent Tuesday morning, this autumn day. The breeze is, as you can see up there on the Harbour Bridge, it's coming from the west. Looks like it's a southwesterly, just a light southwesterly, but it's just glorious. Just a beautiful morning, not too cold, so quite pleasant to say the least. So let's finish up with a positive affirmation. I'm alive, I am well, and I feel absolutely great. To my friends and family, stay connected, stay committed, stay relevant, and most importantly, let's take some lessons from IWOZ. Steve Wozniak, who's the founding partner of Apple, the person who offered Hewlett-Packard the rights to the first prototype of a personal computer, and they knocked it back. Just think of them. Just think of that, eh? Could you imagine? But then again, Apple may not have become Apple if he was successful with that offer to Hewlett-Packard. So thank you very much. Let's finish off, and I'll be coming again to you from a different location with a different message, a message of empowerment, where we can help each other get through the morning, get through the day, and be the wind beneath our wings, the wave beneath our board and the zephyr bellowing our sails, so that we can live, learn and pass it on, and enjoy this magnificent day, because as we say time and time again, today will never ever come back. You get one crack at today, so make the most of it. Make the most of it and seize the moment. Make some plans, take some action, and do the best you can with the opportunities as and when they present themselves. So take care, wishing you all the best. Sasagapao, Filakia, from Jim's 5am Club. And I'll come to you again later on this morning. So I'll be heading off to work now. Ketaleme, Yasas, and bye for now. Ciao, ciao.